The night my life quietly shifted didn't announce itself with noise or drama. It arrived the way most real changes do, softly, almost invisibly, slipping into an ordinary evening that I believed I understood completely, because my life had always been simple in its structure, if not in its struggles. My name is Paula. I have been a single mother for most of my adult life, and for 24 years it has been just my son, Jeremy, and me against the world, learning how to survive, how to forgive, how to keep moving forward after disappointments, losses, and long seasons of exhaustion that never really let you rest. And when you raise a child alone, you grow together in ways that are hard to explain to anyone who hasn't lived it. Because boundaries blur, not from wrongdoing, but from necessity, from being each other's only constant. And that evening began, like so many others, with Jeremy coming home late. Shoulders slumped, eyes heavy with a tiredness that went deeper than sleep. The kind that settles into a person when they've been carrying too much for too long. And when he told me he wasn't feeling well, I heard not just the words but the weight behind them, the pressure of work, study, expectations, and the quiet fear young adults rarely admit out loud. So I told him to lie down in my room where it was warmer, because the house always took time to heat, and because habits formed over decades don't disappear just because a child grows up. And when I covered him with a blanket, it felt natural, automatic, a gesture rooted in memory rather than thought. And when I lay down beside him, it was only because the cold crept into my bones, and because for years that bed had been a place where fears were confessed. Tears were dried and reassurance was offered when the world felt too sharp, yet as the room fell silent and his breathing slowed, something unfamiliar crept in alongside the quiet, not desire but awareness. The sudden realization that the boy I once held after nightmares was now a grown man with a presence that filled the space differently. And when he shifted closer in his sleep, instinct pulled me still while my mind raced, reminding myself that comfort does not always come neatly packaged, that closeness can feel strange when time has changed the people involved, even if the bond remains. And I lay there telling myself stories I had always believed, that love is safe, that intention matters more than sensation, that this was simply two tired souls sharing warmth on a cold night. But my heart betrayed me with its speed, not because of forbidden feelings, but because of fear. Because of the sudden responsibility of realizing I could no longer rely on old instincts without question. And when Jeremy opened his eyes and looked at me with that familiar softness mixed with something new, uncertainty, maybe, or a quiet search for reassurance, I felt the weight of being both mother and anchor. The person who was supposed to know how to respond, how to set the tone, how to protect what mattered most. And yet words failed me, trapped somewhere between wanting to comfort him and needing to re-establish a line that time had quietly eroded. And when the doorbell rang, it felt like mercy disguised as interruption, snapping the moment apart before confusion could deepen, grounding me back in the reality of walls, rooms, and choices, and Paul standing there kind, attentive. Concerned was a reminder that adult connection existed outside the delicate bubble Jeremy and I had lived in for so long. And as he checked the heater and spoke casually, I felt Jeremy's presence behind me like a question mark. Silent but heavy, and for the first time I understood that closeness without clarity can wound just as deeply as distance. Because when Paul left and Jeremy retreated into himself, the air between us thickened not with tension, but with unspoken understanding that something needed to change. And later, when he returned to my room, voice hesitant, eyes downcast, apologizing for making things uncomfortable, I realized how much courage it takes for a child, no matter their age, to admit confusion to a parent. And when I told him it was okay to feel lost, that even adults don't always understand their emotions right away, I meant it for both of us. Because parenting docent come with a manual for these moments where love must evolve rather than repeat itself. And when he rested his head on my shoulder, familiar yet different, I allowed it briefly, carefully, aware now of the importance of intention and limits, holding him not as a refuge from the world, but as a reminder that we were entering a new chapter that required awareness rather than autopilot. And later, when Paul returned once more to check on us, his concern sincere, it reinforced what I had been avoiding, that isolation can turn comfort into confusion. That it was time to widen our worlds rather than cling to the small one we had survived in for so long. And when Jeremy finally said we should slow down, take time, think, I felt relief rather than loss. Because growth often feels like letting go of something familiar in order to protect it. And as he walked back to his room that night, leaving me alone with my thoughts, I understood that love doesn't weaken when boundaries strengthen. It matures. It adapts. And sometimes the bravest thing a parent can do is recognize when a chapter has ended and a new one must be written with intention, patience, and respect. Even if the path forward feels uncertain. Because raising a child doesn't end when they grow up, simply changes shape. Asking different questions and demanding deeper honesty than ever before.